We are students of SOIL, the School of Inspired Leadership, which is based out of Gurgaon. And I'm Shaili Modi, studying in the Human Resources Leadership Program. And I have my colleagues here, Chaturveer Singh, who's in the Marketing Leadership Program at SOIL, and Vasu and Aditya, again from a Business Leadership Program at SOIL. So our topic for discussion today is nuclear disarmament, a step towards peace or a step to away from advancement. Chaturveer and myself will be speaking for the motion, a step towards global peace, and Vasu and Aditya will be speaking for the motion, a step away from advancement. So just to give you a brief on how we'll go about the format, first we'll speak for the motion for about 5 to 7 minutes, Chaturveer and myself. Then the motion goes to Aditya and Vasu for the next motion about advancement, and then we'll have counter arguments, and then it'll be an open discussion last 10-15 minutes. So we'll just be starting now with, I ask Chaturveer to take on now.
A very good afternoon to all of you. It might not be evident from my voice, but I believe in peace. So I take this opportunity to share my thoughts on nuclear disarmament and how exactly is it a step towards peaceful existence of continents, countries, and people as such. Just to start with a little amount of facts, number of nuclear weapons that are there held by top countries. USA has some 10,300, Russia leads with 16,000, and China has 410 to its tally. Isn't China the manufacturing hub? India has some 90 and Pakistan 85.
Yeah, so they're adding on to that, there are about 30,000 nuclear weapons in the world belonging to 9 countries, which are US, Russia, Russian Federation, the UK, France, China, Israel, India, Pakistan, and North Korea. These are just the facts, and more than 1,500 of these nuclear weapons are ready to launch at a moment's notice. Like you say, right now, and they can be launched 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Isn't that a lot? And why do we need all this, basically?
And with this, with a huge mass of nuclear weapons left over from the Cold War, only a small fraction of which is capable enough to wipe out Earth many times over, we are still adding on to the nuclear weapon boom. So I think this is the right moment to take up nuclear disarmament. Perhaps it is the most critical issue on the global security agenda. And in fact, this motivates me to ask various silly but vital questions as per me. Like, why do a US need 10,300 nuclear weapons or a Russia need 16,000 nuclear weapons? Aren't there only 195 countries which you are trying to compete with? And just in case, I mean, it gives me a thought process like, are they actually planning for an alien war or something which they don't even know about?
Okay, what's an alien war? Haven't we had enough wars already that we don't need another kind of war at least?
But, I mean, 30,000 nuclear weapons, I mean, they're far too much of what actually is not even required.
And on a more serious note, the amount of radiations that these nuclear weapons, even when designing or inventing these nuclear weapons, these nuclear radiations are very, very harmful for the health. The radiations which happen near the test sites, the people living near the test site, even few kilometers away also, they're not even aware that these radiations are harming them. There are a lot of cases around the world of stillbirths, miscarriages, and cancers across the world because of the exposure to these nuclear radiations. So this is one thing that is actually affecting the overall health of global, of nations. So this is one thing we should consider when we're talking about nuclear disarmament.
I think the other two silly questions that I have is, what if an asteroid actually comes and hit any of these arsenals? What will happen to Earth? In fact, the Milky Way altogether. And are we humans so stubborn now that we want to prove that Big Bang Theory wasn't big enough, that we are creating a new setup for another biggest bang probably by these nuclear arsenals? And moving on from this topic, and what do I think, or what do we should think about these astonishing numbers? This leads to exhibition of muscle power that actually makes the other countries feel inferior in their existence. Now, when Russia or US has thousands of these nuclear weapons, why should India, that possesses only 90, fall behind? I mean, it's kind of a insecurity issue for India as well as Pakistan and these countries. But when these countries actually transition towards the nuclear weapon arsenal build up, what exactly are they losing out in this process? Aren't they avoiding the more critical and pressing issues in their countries? Just to take an example of India, we still have a huge population below the poverty line. We still are facing with a huge problem of education in India. I work with an NGO, I visit the Mewat region regularly, and I can see the kind of, and the status of education status there, the standard of education, the standard of living, the mindsets, what are the various problems that we have to face. Aren't these the more important issues in a developing country which needs to create a proper society, a culture where people live together, they coexist, they are not competing, they're collaborating to create the best environment where everyone lives in complete harmony. Isn't this more important than developing nuclear weapons, investing crores and crores of rupees when you know that you're not going to use it to some extent?
Taking on from there, like why have developing countries felt the need to invent or design these nuclear weapons? US and Russia started it, and then they signed some treaties that they won't be having more nuclear tests in their countries. But then what is the factor that is having these developing countries, no, even we want? I think it's that insecurity and that fear that, okay, these countries, they already have nuclear weapons. What if they use it on us? What? We should be secure enough to defend ourselves. And that becomes a vicious circle. Every other country now wants to divert their economic resources on making these nuclear weapons. Even India, so many crores of money of us being spent every year on these developing these nuclear weapons and so on. When there are people who don't have 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day, most of the 60 to 70% of the population. So this is one point to think about. Another thing is the global pollution. What these nuclear waste are almost indisposable. There's no way to actually dispose nuclear waste. Over 2,000 nuclear weapon tests have left. They've left a legacy of global and regional contamination all over the world. So this is causing a huge, and there have been campaigns, Greenpeace is having campaigns for nuclear disarmament, and this is one cause they're working for, that is the disposal of nuclear waste too.
Just to bring to your notice, there has been some good work that various countries have started and various treaties have been signed. The cornerstone of the nuclear disarmament regime started in 1968 with the signing of treaty called Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapon, NTP, followed by comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty that was signed in 1996. However, the most promising, as per me, till date, is a nuclear weapon free zone creation. This actually dates back to 1967, wherein Latin America created or signed this treaty of nuclear weapon free zone, wherein all the 33 countries in that particular region signed this treaty, taking an oath that they won't produce, they won't store, they won't transport nuclear weapon for any destructive function. So nuclear disarmament, again, just to define the whole concept altogether, it's moving away from the destructive weapon creation. Nuclear technology as such is one of the most efficient technologies that has ever been created by science, wherein the mass is converted into proper energy and at a very efficient rate. But this energy was not meant to be used only in destructive purposes. They have their very noble reason of existence, like these can be used in power generation in a very efficient manner, and it's much cleaner energy when compared to a thermal power plant. So when these agreements are signed, they are signed just to make sure that there is no improper use of these particular highly dangerous substances in creation of weapons.
And, we would just like to end our motion by saying that all the countries now should definitely embark, instead of just signing treaties and talking about what they're going to do and how they're going to, and then again backfiring on their own statements and things, that they should all take a vow to embark on the journey of nuclear disarmament. Now we'll hand it over to Aditya and Vasu.